Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name's Treywick if you're new here. Today we're on an adventure in western Colorado. Stayed at the Fairfield Inn here in Montrose, Colorado last night to reset, get a shower, do some laundry, all that good stuff. And now I'm heading about an hour outside of Montrose to the Gunnison Gorge Wilderness area. We're going to hike in from the Chalker Trail, either the Chalker, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, or the Bobcat Trail. They're both right there in this similar area. They both have places where I can park my camper for the night. So we're gonna hike down into the gorge and do some trout fishing. Should be fun. Follow along. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like the Chalker trailhead is going to be something that is going to work out for today. I talked to a guy and they said that it's pretty difficult to get down and back because of the damage from the wildfires. It's not necessarily the wildfires that are the issue, but some of the damage to the area from the wildfires. And it's a pay spot, so what I have done is I've picked out a campground that's just downstream on the Gunnison River from here. It's free, it's on BLM land. Fingers crossed that I can find a spot. If not, I can at least park at the boat ramp or one of the day use areas there. And since it's Sunday, I think it would just be a matter of time before, you know, somebody does leave and then I can come in and get their spot. But anyways, I'm gonna head up that way. I believe it's free access to the river, but if not, I do have a few bucks that I can pay some, you know, whatever access is needed. But according to the apps that I have, the campsite is free and the you know, the whole access is free. So and according to this map, the paid access starts upriver from where I am downriver, so it stops down there. So fingers crossed that this next spot will be a better option. So it's only about an hour away, so it's still going to be kind of morning, but we'll have some fun anyways on the drive. So we're only 3 miles away from the actual campsite. The plan will be to find a spot, drop the camper, and just start exploring right around the campground there. But there are plenty of parking spots right here near the river. They're for trailheads, but they're right here next to some good spots that I could tell, you know, when I was driving in, I could see a good kind of a rapid type area that I would think that fish would stay around. Again, yesterday, or whenever it was, Friday, I guess it was, a couple of days ago, when I caught that big tiger trout, now that I know that it's a tiger trout, and those cutthroat, that was my first really experience fishing for trout but that was in a lake. This is a river, you know, moving water. So if it's anything like bass fishing, lakes versus moving water, it's going to be a lot different. So and I would think that it will be, because my fly is not just going to be sitting there right on top of them. You kind of have to present it into this, you know, the flow properly and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. But the good thing about where I'm going is I've got all of these back here that I, you know, in this whole area, and then I can go keep going straight past the campsite, and it goes across basically a big oxbow bend. I'm basically in the middle of a big oxbow, so I can go across, and I'm thinking I can take my kayak across with my truck, drop my kayak in, and then float down to the campsite, pull my kayak out, and then walk across to get my truck again. So that'll all depend on actually how far it is across. But I guess we'll see. I said if it's a mile or less one way across, then I'll go ahead and do that one day while I'm here and float down the river. Because, you know, we just passed a sign that said gold medal waters for trout. So all rainbow trout have to be released, and then I can keep 4 brown trout of any size. So it'd be nice to catch some trout, cook some up for dinner or lunch one day. Because I mean, it's absolutely beautiful out here. Well, still have about 13 minutes left to go, because I'm only able to go about 5 miles an hour on these dirt roads, really rough roads. But that should prevent, hopefully, the majority of people from coming out here. That's the idea, at least. I passed 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 cars going out. 2 of them for sure looked like they had been camping out here. The other 3, I'm not sure. Now I've got one behind us. It's just a truck with a inflatable raft. I'm gonna pull off and let them pass me. I'm sure. All right. All right, camp is set up as much as I'm gonna do for now. I'm gonna walk down here, see if we can't chop our way through to the creek, to the river, I should say. So, note to future self, always put the rod up properly. All right, so I found a place that's open till 7 that sells fly rods. So I'm gonna get there, see what kind of selection they have. If they have one of these cheap Echo kits like I have now, I'm gonna go ahead and buy another one and just keep it in the back of my truck as a spare. And then, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get a nicer rod and reel or anything like that, but we'll just check the prices and see what things look like when I get there, because I'm not trying to spend, you know, $400, $500, $600 on something which can easily be done with fly rods and fly equipment. So hopefully, you know, a decent rod, $150, $200, something like that. But anyways, it's only 1:15, so I should be able to get back here by 3 or so, which was kind of when I was thinking I would start fishing again, hopefully for the afternoon bite, if there is one, or that might not even be a thing. I'm just speculating because of the way bass act. But two, it looks like, you know, there are places in between, so I might be able to just stomp off at some in between on my way back, some of these places, and fish just wade off, you know, next to the truck or wherever I can pull off at, you know, once I get the rod or rods. All right, I got a fly rod to go with the reel for the one that I broke, and a new combo. So it's a Lamson combo. I know nothing about fly rod specific brands. Obviously, I know that St. Croix is a very quality brand all around, which is the rod that I got as a replacement. So get back on the road. Get back on the road and maybe get back. Yeah, should be able to get back right around 3. Perfect time to do some fishing. Operation getting a replacement rod was a success. Back at the campsite now. It's 3:15 and I realized that I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm gonna eat a quick Mountain House meal and then hopefully actually get to fish. Maybe the curse is broken. Well, it's raining. I guess you could call that rain. Wet precipitation. I don't think it's gonna amount to much. It would be nice to get a nice little rain and knock some of this dust down, although I guess it would just turn to mud. So either dust or mud, pick your poison. Dinner / lunch is almost ready. Then take a look at the radar once I get done eating. So I decided to do a little loop around the campground over here to this boat ramp, and there were a couple other people here earlier today, but they're gone now. It's a beautiful morning. Got the fly rod. Gonna ease the truck down by the boat ramp and see what that still water looks like right there. Just kind of get an idea of if they're biting or not. And then I'm gonna fill up a couple of buckets so I can wash my solar panels off because they are dusty. like, oh yeah, it's all good behind me. Maybe the curse is broken.
Good one.
Get my fly rod out. Try spot number 2. So yeah, there is a little trail going by my campsite, going straight down to the, not going by it, and I don't even know if I would call it a trail. It's just something somebody hacked through the woods. So this seemed like a little bit easier way to get down here. So we'll see if I can fish from the bank or just kind of wade in just a little bit. This looks like it used to be a primitive campground according to that sign up here, but it says that the area is closed to camping. So I think people are just using it to get down to the river now. I wonder why it's closed. It may be because these trees were falling. Kind of a safety issue. And then you've got that whole, campground over there with vault toilets and everything. So probably don't need the extra. All right, let's see what this looks like. Kind of some moving water a little bit. Yeah, I think I can fish that. I don't know if, are there any fish in it? Probably, because all the fish that I saw yesterday, they have to be. But are they gonna bite? What are they gonna do? Who knows? Huh. All right, now I'm heading out to where I was last night. I guess I could try over here, but it seemed like it was easy to walk along that over there last night. So that's what I'm gonna do. Buck's gonna hang out in the truck. Those storms are gonna move their way through. I'm hoping that they don't muddy up. I guess it's the North Fork up there. Hoping that rain doesn't muddy it up too much and kind of blow out this area. If it does, then across the hill over there, you can get to a spot that's upriver from the North Fork. And then from what I could tell, anything upriver is not going to get any runoff from that storm. So we'll see. I guess I just got to catch fish. That's the main thing. Been here. Didn't get to fish much yesterday, but still figuring out this river fishing stuff. So I've got this little small fly on the top, and then I've got this little bitty nymph bug. I've been seeing these little, they look like tadpoles, but I don't think they're tadpoles, bugs, something, just kind of swimming around in the shallow areas. So I'm thinking that kind of mimics that. And then this could mimic any kind of little fly, baby grasshopper, things like that. So that's the idea, at least. I think it was this way, yeah. And Buck, like I said, he's not liking this. He's gonna bark, but it's like 60, 70 degrees, so, and I got the windows rolled down. And there's nobody else out here. All right. See, he just doesn't like being left behind one bit. Right into the gross mud, sinking down to my ankles. Just wanted to take my flip-flops with me. So they were, yeah, there's one boiling right there. So they were kind of in that little slack-ish area on that side, kind of in between here and that. I'll tell you, the water is pretty chilly this morning. Let my feet get acclimated to it a little bit. Definitely think there's good fishing around here. I just think it's really pressured. You know, yesterday there were just every 20 feet there was somebody or a boat coming by or something like that. And you know, I put a fly in front of like 100 trout today probably, and got, I think, 2 bites. Didn't get one in, so it's obviously user error. You know, if I was a little bit more knowledgeable with fly fishing, especially out here, you know, maybe I could find the right flies or the right presentation or whatever, but I'm still learning. And 2, it's really hot out here. It's like 80 it's 82 degrees, but it feels a lot hotter in the sun especially. So I'm gonna head up in elevation, hopefully try to get to a little bit cooler weather, and maybe a little bit less pressured fishing. I guess we'll see. I've got a campsite picked out. Fingers crossed that I can actually get in it. All right. We got a long 4 miles of this until we get back to a little bit more maintained of a road. So I'll check back with y'all. I'll check back with y'all later. Can't get over how beautiful this place is. I'm definitely glad I made a move. It's in the 60s up here, low 60s. It looks bigger in person. All right, well, I made it to the campsite, or at least a campsite. These are a little bit different than what I was expecting. Pretty much every campsite's on the edge of a cliff, and my fear of heights is probably not going to let that fly. And then also my worry about bugs. So we'll see what things look like in the morning. I've got the parking brake on and the wheels chalked and on somewhat flat ground, but there's like a cliff just 20 yards that way. So yeah, we'll get through tonight and then just kind of maybe do some exploring tomorrow. So my first thought when I stepped out of the camper this morning was, it smells like Christmas trees up here. I wonder why. Let's do it. That looks like ice. That looks like snow. What y'all doing out here with ice and snow in the middle of August? It looks like we're almost above the tree line now. I can see the other mountains, the trees have stopped. Or pretty much have stopped. and then right up here, it's a big bald, I guess, where there are no trees. So that means we're getting close to 11 or 12,000 feet. There you go, Paradise Divide, 11,250 feet. I don't know if y'all can see that truck going down the middle of the valley down there. He was behind me and asked me for directions. And I'm like, I'm looking at the map and winging it just like you are probably. And luckily there was a girl and I guess a couple, a guy and a girl up here camping, must be locals, so that there's a longer, scenic, less treacherous route back down. So, and I'm seeing some rivers and streams, and I think there's a lake on the other side, and it may come out at the East River, I believe. So see, and now we're quite obviously back down below the given tree line.
Throw your hands in the air and use a true play.